All right, everybody. I thought I had the dream job hosting this show until a few years ago I scrolled across Lee Asher's social media page, the Asher House. I saw a big burly guy running around his property with dogs, animals galore, sharing his sanctuary with animals in need. And today I'm thrilled to welcome him to the virtual River City Live studio. Now, Lee, who is your special guest before we get started?
This is my baby. This is my baby. This is Fonzie.
Hi, Fonzie.
Have you ever seen a mug like that? Have you ever seen a mug like that? He's one of our newest rescues. And I just adopted him just a couple of weeks ago. I'm so in love with him. He's just my everything, honestly.
So Lee, I know that you're saying Fonzie is your everything, but you literally have an entire farm kind of in the middle of nowhere of a lot of furry, fuzzy, feathery, even everything. So just for our viewers who haven't gotten the pleasure of meeting you yet online, can you give us a little bit of an overview of who you are and what you're doing for these animals?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Lee Asher, and in 2018, well, actually, the end of 2017, I quit my job. I sold all of my things, all of my belongings, and I bought an RV, and I had an idea to show the world all of the amazing dogs and cats that are waiting to be adopted inside of animal shelters. I have always had a lot of dogs, and people could never believe how amazing, how beautiful, well behaved my dogs were, especially because they were rescues. And I felt like that was my calling, to show people all of the amazing dogs inside of animal shelters. And that's what I did. I was traveling all over the country. I only had 6 dogs at the time. It was almost nothing. Now we have 170 dogs. And we were traveling everywhere, hosting events. And when COVID happened, I still wanted to continue my mission of getting dogs adopted and rescuing animals and shining a very bright light on animal rescue. But because of COVID, we no longer were able to travel in the RV. So the next best thing was to open up an animal sanctuary. That was in 2020. And now we're in process of opening up our 3rd animal sanctuary in Oregon. We have over 170 dogs. We've rescued well over 400. We've rescued over 400. We've been taking in pigs, cats, horses, donkeys, llamas, alpacas, you name it. A lot of horses. It's just been amazing. It truly has. It's been absolutely amazing. It's my childhood dream to save animals. And in addition to that, a big part of what we do is to have a positive influence on people as well. We want to show the light in the world, the beauty in the world, and most importantly, the love that still exists in the world.
Like I said, I'm almost at a loss for words, because I think this is the most phenomenal job, in the fact that you have this opportunity, this chance to connect with people, and this world that you've built is so much thanks to social media. Would you say that that's been like your biggest catalyst? I mean, obviously people around you support you, you have a great community, but the way you were able to reach so many corners of the globe really was through that digital community, especially in a time where we couldn't physically be together. So what advice would you give other nonprofits that are looking to spread their message, who have the same mission and vision that you do, but really can't seem to break that wall in the internet community?
That's a great question. I have found that authenticity is your gift, your true self of who you are. Being as unfiltered as possible, true to your word, is what's going to separate you from everyone else. I think a big thing with nonprofits that people tend to forget is that it is a business, and you need to not run it like a hobby. The Asher House, these dogs, they are my blood, they are my soul. It is everything. We are one. And I think the only reason that I was able to get the support that I've gotten on social media is people can see, they can see, hear, and feel my soul when I'm always doing this. There is never a point in my life that I'm not completely dedicated to these animals or to this organization. And I would say to the people, to other nonprofits, is how committed are you willing to be? And if it's not solely your everything, then I would suggest being a part of a nonprofit, a part of a community where they have someone who's willing to give it all. I don't know any other advice because I haven't done this that long, other than this has to be your baby. Now, if we were to have this conversation in 10 years from now, I'm sure I'd be able to have some different guidance. But for me, all I know is dedicating every part of me to this is what's made us so successful. And I wouldn't know how to do it any other way.
I love that truly authentic answer. And I think you made a great point. A lot of times people feel when there's a philanthropic backing to something that it doesn't have to be run as strictly or as vigilantly. And I think we've seen with the history of nonprofits and people who always start really well intentioned, when things weren't run correctly, sometimes that's when things can really get out of hand. But you seem to have really mastered this. What was your background in before? What was your day job before you got to be Dog Dad of the Year and the envy of every animal lover out there? What was your background?
I can't take that type of credit, although it is beautiful. I haven't mastered anything. I'm still very new to what I'm doing. Just because of the size of the organization, we can't shine away from how long we've had a sanctuary, which is really just 3 years. Our main sanctuary now, we've only been here for 2 years. So I make a significant amount of mistakes. If what I would a question that I often ask myself is that what would I have done differently if I could go back and do something different? What would I have done? And I honestly always have the answer that I would have worked for a sanctuary. I would have been a part of a nonprofit for as long as I could before starting my own, so I could have helped avoid make a lot of the mistakes that I've made along the way. Before this job, I was in a finance business as a corporate trainer, and it doesn't, not much of it really applies to what I'm doing now. I was never very good at school. I grew up with severe learning disabilities. I never felt like I was doing well in school, and I wasn't doing well. I never felt like I was a part of the group or a part of, like, I had a big friend group there. So the Asher House it was very clear to me when I had the idea that this was going to be my life. It was going to be my everything. And there was really just no stopping me at the time.
How do you translate to people that they need to give shelter animals a chance? Every week here, we have a very gracious sponsor, and they make sure that we have a segment called Pausing for Pets. And so every week, Forever Vets partners with people like Jack's Humane, like, $1 of all of your ticket sales at the Florida Theater are going to be going to Jack's Humane. We have Fur Sisters, we have St. Augustine Humane, we have so many organizations here. We have a lot of animal lovers, and they're constantly trying to share the message, along with me just beating everyone over the head with it, because I want them to love animals as much as I do. But how do you translate to people that they should give shelter animals a second chance at life?
Me personally is I try to focus on the bigger picture, not just shelter animals. But you see, as humans, we are clearly failing in many ways. It's not hard to tell if you turn on the news, or you don't even have to turn on the news these days. You could just hear the way people speak to each other. We choose when and where to be compassionate. We choose when and where to defend the weak or to defend the innocent. Everything's a choice. What's beautiful about dogs is the unconditional love. And what we can take away from dogs, there's many things, but the unconditional is an important word, because we should show as humans, for your own happiness, unconditional compassion. Unconditional compassion. Compassion to everything and anything that needs it. And when you do that, you become a very important part of the universe. You start really figuring out what love is about. Okay. And when you have an animal, specifically a dog or a cat or any animal in a shelter, if you don't feel compassion towards that animal, that is a huge sign that there needs to be a significant amount of reflection and growth. Because one of the things that I can't help to think about, which is why I have so many dogs, is I can't imagine being inside of a shelter so noisy, so dirty, so scary, with no love, no attention, and being innocent. These dogs that are at the shelter are innocent. It is humans that failed them. They didn't fail anyone. They did their job. They showed unconditional love. They were loyal. They were the dog that they were created to be, but people failed them. And that's why it's so important to show compassion to all living things that need compassion, because they're innocent. And there's really not a single, truly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, there is not a single reason not to give a shelter pet a chance. There's not a single reason not to show compassion, and that's the main thing. It's people focus so hard on they want to be happy. How do I be happy? Everything is for them. How do I make more money? How can I do this for me, for me, for me, for me? To truly live your best life, to truly be happy, you need to give yourself. You need to surrender to giving and helping those in need, whatever that may be. Maybe dogs don't appeal to you. Then help children, help women, help. If you're not giving, you're not living. It's there's no other way around it. There's truly no other way.
Well, before I completely break down in tears here on lovely TV.
Which is good for you, which is good. We need to express every part of us. Yeah.
No, but you're right. We, like you said, if you're not helping and reaching out to others, I love that this is your mission.
Don't be a part of the train. Don't jump on the train to bring people down, to yell and scream and get angry. Use that energy to go volunteer somewhere, to go help someone. All that energy that people have with the frustration, all that is because we're not using it for good. That's what that is. That's what causes the illness and the disease. Use everything you have to give back and to make humanity better.
And sorry. You're going to be no, please don't be sorry. I feel like I'm at church. This is great. Lee Asher Dog Church. I love it.
Look, a good example, this dog right here, this dog was at the highest kill shelter in California. One of the highest kill shelters in California. People say, this is a St. Bernard's golden retriever. The amount of dogs, hundreds and thousands of dogs are dying. If you don't have a reason to help a shelter dog, know this is a fact. The animal rescue community is in the worst position they have ever been in history. In history. I have rescue partners that have been doing this 20, 30 years. They've never seen shelters like this. Dogs are dying for reasons I couldn't even tell you, because you wouldn't believe it. If they have a red eye, now I'm not joking, let's euthanize, they have a red eye. They're so full that they're looking for a reason to euthanize a dog for space. And people yell at the shelters, this shelter does this. Why don't the people do anything? Don't blame anyone. Why don't you take matters into your own hand and be part of the solution instead of an internet troll? We have to take action and do something. And it's the only way things will change. And it's so simple, the solutions and the answers are so simple, but we as humans are so difficult.
I feel like I just got a sneak peek of some of your inspiring words here in the studio. But Lee, please tell me how people can come and join you at the Florida Theater, and that is happening on Wednesday. So it's going to be a really exciting time with you. What can people expect?
First, I'm sorry about the rant. I promise when I am speaking on the 29th of May, I won't rant. It'll be more structured, I think. So it'll be
great, because this is just me and you and River City Plus. So I appreciate your passion and your transparency. I do. It's always welcome here.
Thank you. So please go to theofficialleeasher.com for tickets. And there's other venues and events down the line, but I'm very excited to be in Jacksonville. I grew up in Florida. My hometown is just 4 or 5 hours from Jacksonville in South Florida, and I can't wait. May 29th. And I'm very, very excited to be there. This will be my first speaking event. I just can't wait.
You're going to rock it. I'm very excited of you. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing. And thank you so much for sharing the stage and sharing the spotlight with all of these animals in need. Please continue to do what you do.
You please continue to do what you do as well, because it's equally important. Thank you for being a light in this dark world. You are appreciated. Just know that. So thank you.
Thank you, Lee. We appreciate you.